Hey, what's up, guys? This is George. I have a blog called mynaturalherniacure.com, and I'm basically chronicling my attempt to cure my hernia naturally without surgery. I'm a 43-year-old guy, super active. I'm a surfer, volunteer firefighter. Been a volunteer firefighter for about over 10 years. Used to fish offshore all the time, not so much anymore, but used to do a lot of fishing offshore. I've been a carpenter pretty much my whole life since I was 18, and always, doing some sort of workouts or whatever, all kinds of just active, all around active guy, running, whatever it is, CrossFit, stuff like that. And I got my hernia probably about 4 years ago. I used to, like I said, I used to fish offshore all the time. I think this is how I got it. I'm not 100% sure because one day I just noticed it in the shower. I just looked down one time and I was like, holy shit, what is this lump? And I thought I had cancer. I kind of freaked out for a minute. But then I did some research, found out it was an inguinal hernia and that, I could push it back in, it would stay in and stuff like that. But I used to fish offshore, and every time we would go offshore, in the afternoon, a lot of times the sea breeze would kick up and it would start getting real choppy, and we would just be getting worked on the boat, like heading back in, or even while we were still fishing out there for a while. And the steering wheel on my boat would come like right at waist height, right where the hernia pops out. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it would just hit over and over and over in the same spot. And like I said, I didn't realize it because it didn't really hurt at the time, but after I got the hernia, I went back out fishing and realized, like, man, I got hit there like 50 times over and over and over in the same spot. So that, I have a feeling that has to be part of the reason why there's a hernia there. I also think it has to do with some weakness that I've had in my abs for my whole life since I was a little kid. And I actually wrote a post about that on the website, but that was about 4 years ago. And I didn't really want to get the surgery because I just don't believe that that's the only way that this could get fixed. I'm an all natural guy. I eat all organic food. I won't even take aspirin. Like if I get a headache, which doesn't happen often, but if I do get a headache, I won't even take aspirin. I don't take any medications, anything like that. So I try to live the most natural life I can. And I just don't believe that there's no way to heal up this weakness in this one spot where the hernia comes out of. I mean, if you break your femur, you break your leg, and in 6 weeks, you put a cast on that leg, and in 6 weeks, you're walking on that leg again. So if your body can heal that bone in 6 weeks, the body is a healing machine. That's what we do, is we heal. We can pretty much heal almost anything that's wrong with us. And all this is a weakness in one spot in the in the abdomen region. I just don't believe that there's no way to tighten that up to where the hernia won't come out anymore. So, and not to mention that, all the side effects, MRSA infections, the pain syndrome where you're in pain all the time. Right now I don't have any pain. I have a little bit of pressure, and it's uncomfortable, but there's no pain there. So if I went and got surgery and then after it was done, if I had pain there every day for the rest of my life, I'd be really pissed at myself that I went and got surgery. A lot of the surgeries are done with mesh. They basically just put a mesh over the hole and staple it in so that the hernia can't pop out of that spot anymore. And I'm part of a lot of hernia forums, or there's a couple of them out there, and I read horror stories about people that are having pain from the mesh. Mesh recalls 10, 12 years later, there's recalls on this mesh that is now in your body, and it's been there for 10 years. It's not like a car where you can have a recall and then, go take your car in and get the recall taken care of. You know what I mean? So I'm just not into it. And I just feel like there's too many things that can go wrong, or, there's too many things that can go wrong for me to make it worth my while to actually take the risk. And I started the blog basically because when I started doing research to find if there was a natural hernia cure, I couldn't really find anything. All I was finding was, you need surgery, you need surgery. And then there was a couple of guys like that I found that actually did cure their hernia, but their sites were so hard to read and so jumbled up that it was just really hard to read and hard to get anything out of. So I wanted to do it. I wanted to make the site so that when I do find a way to cure this thing, I kind of have a chronicle of exactly what I did in order to get there. And people would be able to go through and say, okay, this is the information I'm looking for. This guy actually did it. Here's how he did it, step by step. Also, I wanted to kind of motivate myself. I knew that, if I was writing about it and people were actually reading about it, then it would make me want to keep up on doing what I was doing in order to try and cure it and not give up. So there was definitely that, motivational factor in it for me. And another reason, the main reason why I wanted to, I really wanted to start making these videos and things like that. And, what I realized was after I've been writing on the blog for a while was how many people there are that are just like me, that are super active and that, are dealing with this hernia that drives you nuts every day. I mean, I think about this hernia from the minute I wake up in the morning to the minute I go to bed at night. And it'll drive you nuts, and it basically just, it fucks with your head to have to think about this thing all the time, and it holds you back from doing what you want to do. Certain things that you could do before, now you're worried, is this gonna, I don't want this thing to get strangulated, it's just a lot to go through in your head. And I just kind of wanted to put it out there for people that if you are in that position right now, you're not the only one out there. There's tons of other people that think exactly the same way. They get the feeling that this is not, that there's got to be a way to heal this thing, that surgery is not the only option, and they're dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. And I'm dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. So, that's a big motivator for me to want to kind of just put my story out there and just, let people know what was going on. So if you want to read more, check out my website, mynaturalherniacure.com. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll put all those links in the description down below. If you have any comments or questions, you leave them down below. If you want to make comments about, oh, you're a dumbass, why don't you just go get the surgery, then don't even bother. Just go somewhere else with that, because that's not what this is about. So, so check out, if you want to get in touch with me, check out all my stuff, hit me up on any one of those places, and look forward to some more videos. I'll be doing some more updates of, just what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, stuff like that, just quick updates and stuff. So, that's it. Take it easy, guys. Thanks a lot.